All right, and of course, that Rugby World Cup does kick off later on today, where three-time world champions New Zealand will be hosted by the host nation in France. And of course, South Africa then get their campaign started on Sunday, where they go up against Scotland. And of course, earlier on today, we did speak to one of the Springbok players, and Joseph Dweba, just speaking ahead of the commencement of the World Cup campaign for the Springboks. And he was just talking to how strong their forwards are, how positive the mood in the camp is, and how they are certainly looking forward to having a successful defense of their title. Also, he mentioned the fact that they get to have their captain coming back into the squad. We do know that Siyakolisi did have an injury, and we were told that his recovery time was going to be approximately 9 months, but he managed to recover in less than 5 months, and we saw what he did in those fixtures building up to this World Cup for South Africa, just coming on and really just leading from the front. Now, we do have a journalist that is out in France, and he is with News 24, Sport 24, and is also an SABC sport analyst, Khanyiso Tshwaku. Let's see now if we can get Khanyiso on the line. Good morning, Khanyiso. How are you doing?
Morning, V. Are you well?
I'm very well, Khanyiso. I hear you are there. You're on a ferry. You're almost on a ferry. Tell me, what is the mood like in France now ahead of the commencement of this World Cup?
Well, firstly, since a boxer in Toulon, the mood is quite considered to be here. They know that the world champions are here in town. They're staying here. Whenever we walk, let's say, walk into a restaurant, they pick up our South African accent. They will often ask, are we South African? Are we traveling with the Springboks? But one would feel that the bigger mood, the bigger party would be 65 k's west in Marseille, because they're a host city. Remember that Marseille are hosting two of the doubleheader. They've got England, Argentina. That would be tomorrow, and then on Sunday it's the big one, the one that we're all waiting for, South Africa and Scotland. So I think here the locals know that the Boks are in town. They welcome them with open arms. I mean, at the Monday function at Tour Royale, which is actually just on this side, they were warmly welcomed, especially at Chesney and Colby. So look, they know that the team is in town. I think the bulk of the tourists have actually landed in Marseille. So I think where the real party vibe will be at will be in Marseille. So I'll most probably be that side tomorrow. So we'll see how Marseille will pan out.
And tell me, Khanyiso, have you had an opportunity to see the Springbok side at all, and to just get a feel of how the team is feeling ahead, of course, of kicking off the defense of their title?
Yes, indeed. There were 2 training sessions that we were able to access within the required 15-minute period. So we were able to first train at the Toulon Rugby campus. I think that was on Tuesday, and then yesterday they were at the Mayon, where Toulon actually played their rugby. So they've trained twice. I think they have another training session later today, and then then tomorrow they'll have their captains run at about 11:30. And then Sunday, they'll have to get down to the business of World Cup rugby.
Let's talk about Sunday now, because South Africa, of course, going into this World Cup ranked number 2. They come up against the Scottish side, and there's just so much pressure and expectation from a South African rugby lover point of view of what we're expecting of the defending champions out on the field. What do you make of what that battle on Sunday is going to come down to between South Africa and Scotland?
Look, I guess it will be a case of who really wants it the most. I mean, this is the toughest pool, not probably. This is the toughest pool. I mean, South Africa, to get in the quarterfinals, the Boks have to beat both Ireland and Scotland, and also see of Romania and Tonga. One would feel that the Romania game is the one that's there for the taking, but everything will start 10 in with the Scotland game, because Ireland are a very good side, regardless of the fact that they've had slight issues with their captain, Johnny Sexton. They remain a good side. I mean, they've showed it over the past 5 years that they're a side to be reckoned with. So the Boks actually have to win on Sunday to make sure that they actually start the tournament well. Remember that the Boks haven't won their last 2 opening games. They lost against Japan in 2015. They lost to New Zealand in 2019. But in those competitions, they finished third and actually ended up winning. So the key part is that they need to win to maintain momentum. And I think you'd feel that with that big win against All Blacks, the Boks created a fair bit of expectation. Now it's a case of having to live up to that expectation on Sunday.
Khanyiso, I've literally got less than a minute left with you, but just quickly, you touch on that performance against New Zealand. Was it just that the Springboks was so much better, or is it also contributed by the fact that this New Zealand side hasn't performed at the level we're used to them performing, even building up to this global showpiece?
No. The Boks played to a potential we hadn't seen. Remember that they beat Wales 62-15 the week before. Then they put 35 over the All Blacks. That was the first time in the Jacques Love era that the Boks had put two consecutive 30-point wins over teams. So I think it's just a case now where the Boks had played to a close to a level of potential that's expected of them. The key part is now for them to ensure that they maintain that kind of potential, they maintain that intensity, they maintain that physicality for Sunday. If they're able to put up a performance, somewhere near close to what you saw against All Blacks, I think the Boks will be good to go.
And just lastly, Khanyiso, how crucial are our forwards going to be in this encounter on Sunday against Scotland?
The fact that Dwayne Vermeulen is actually starting off the bench will tell you that the Boks coaching management want that forwards to control the game from the start to the end, which is why when you look at the pack on the bench and starting, there's a good mix of youth and experience. Jasper Pavisa will probably be asked to soften up the Scottish forwards before Dwayne Vermeulen either shorts up the game or helps finish it off. So the team selection is geared towards ensuring that the Boks are able to actually control the entirety of the match and not actually just control parts of it.
Khanyiso, thank you so much for your time this morning. Enjoy your time out in France, and during this course of this World Cup, we'll be calling on you to give us all the latest updates coming from France.
Thank you.
All right, that is Khanyiso Tshwaku. He is with News 24 as well as Sports 24, and really also an SABC sport analyst, speaking about what we're looking forward to in terms of a commencement of the defending champions Rugby World Cup campaign against Scotland on Sunday. What an amazing Black Friday it's been, setting the tone. Don't forget, SABC will be bringing you 16 Rugby World Cup games, including the opening ceremony, the final, as well as the bronze final. What a time to be alive.